split second there was a so-called electrical short in that communication from the mind and body. The message will be sent back to the brain because parts or even the entire message didn't get through to your body. Now the mind knows what the shot should be, but because it received a feedback of information, of not enough information from the body, then you missed your shot. On the other hand, if this internal communication was working perfectly and there wasn't any electrical short, then you would have probably done the perfect shot. See, in this situation, your mind knows in advance and it's going to accomplish this shot automatically. Haven't you ever done a shot, then you knew even before you started it that it would be done perfectly? And the very same thing will happen in your sport in practice or training or in a tournament. If your timing or internal communication is flowing properly, then you'll know in advance that you're going to do well. But if this internal communication is off, then you will also know in advance or have the feeling that you won't be able to do well in that practice or competition. Timing eliminates this so-called electrical short that allows the full communication between the mind and body to be done in the most natural way possible. Oh, by the way, one more thing. You know, when your communication is off, your body will do one of two things which are both wrong. And let me explain. Number one, if your body didn't get the full communications or message from your brain, then it will either panic or not do anything, because it will take a split second to go and check with your brain to find out what the message was because it didn't receive it. For example, a hockey player missed an open net. If his timing was off, then he will do one of two above things. Which, they're both wrong. He will panic or hesitate for a split second, and this might give or enable the goaltender to reposition himself to block the shot. Or he will just shoot the puck and miss the open net because he didn't have all the proper communications and messages that would enable him to do it right from the mind. Timing is done at 1,000th of a second. It must be done at the right time. There are literally thousands of different situations and scenarios that all athletes go through because of poor timing in practice or in competition. Everybody experiences problems in timing. It doesn't matter if you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, elite, or a professional. They'll all experience it at one point or another. The natural and elite athlete will be luckier because their internal communication and timing will work for them at higher levels than everybody else. This is the big reason why they have achieved such a high level. If you don't believe me, then go seek out these champions and ask them to explain how they became champions. They won't be able to explain it to you because they just don't know. And they have no clue on what exactly was the cause for their peak performance. Before I studied this for over 16 years, I was a national and international karate champion for Team Canada. I didn't know why I was winning. I was just glad to win. And it wasn't that I didn't want to tell other athletes, but I didn't have a clue on what to tell them. So it doesn't matter what level of expertise or sport that you're training, because you will experience poor timing in practice and in competition. The question is this: when is it going to happen to you? And when it does happen to you, what are you going to do about it? Timing training should be trained right from the start. Beginners should know about timing, how it works, and how they should train it in their sport. The good news is that timing training has nothing to do with how old you are, what level of training, or your expertise, because as soon as you use timing, it will bring your game or performance at peak performance level, instantly and automatically.